Hi, I'm Naomi, and I come from a family most people only dream of being a part of. My parents own one of the biggest tech companies in the country. I grew up with everything luxury cars, private schools, designer clothes, you name it. But all that wealth came at a price. People only ever saw me as the rich girl, never as Naomi. I was tired of feeling like a walking ATM for fake friends and shallow relationships. So I decided to do something drastic. I pretended to be poor. After high school, I took a gap year to figure myself out. That's when I got this crazy idea. What if I moved to a completely different city, where no one knew me and lived a simple life? My parents thought I was nuts, but eventually agreed. "You'll last 2 weeks," my mom said, rolling her eyes. Challenge accepted. I found a tiny apartment in a working-class neighborhood, bought secondhand clothes, and started my new life. I told everyone I came from a small town and worked odd jobs to make ends meet. It was scary at first. I got a job at a local diner, bussing tables and washing dishes. The hours were long and the pay was terrible, but for the first time in my life, I felt free. No one cared about my last name or how much money I had. My co-workers, especially a guy named Ryan, were kind and down to earth. Ryan was a bit of a mystery. He had this quiet confidence and a way of making everyone laugh. We started hanging out after shifts, grabbing cheap coffee and talking about life. For once, I felt like someone liked me for me. Living on a budget was a whole new world. I learned how to cook basic meals, shop for bargains, and stretch every dollar. There were times I wanted to quit, like when my car broke down and I had to walk to work in the rain. But those struggles made me appreciate everything so much more. I started noticing the little things, how good a warm meal felt after a long day, the satisfaction of fixing something with my own hands, and the joy of real friendships. One day, the diner hosted a fundraiser for a local family who had lost their home in a fire. I volunteered to help organize it, and Ryan was impressed. "You're full of surprises, Naomi," he said with a grin. That night we stayed late cleaning up, and he opened up about his dream of becoming a musician but not having the means to pursue it. It hit me hard. I could have written a check to solve all his problems, but that would have ruined everything. I wanted him to see me, not my money. Things took a turn when my parents decided to visit unannounced. They showed up at the diner in their designer clothes, looking completely out of place. I tried to play it off, introducing them as distant relatives, but Ryan wasn't buying it. Later, he confronted me. "Naomi, who are you really?" My heart sank. I confessed everything: my family, my wealth, and why I had lied. I expected him to walk away, but instead, he just laughed. "That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. But I get it. You wanted something real." Not everyone was as understanding as Ryan. Word got out, and suddenly, people who had ignored me before started acting overly friendly. My coworkers treated me differently, and I felt the walls closing in. Even Ryan seemed distant, and I feared I'd lost the one genuine connection I'd made. Determined to fix things, I decided to use my resources to help the diner. I anonymously donated money to repair the kitchen and fund a scholarship program for the employees. When Ryan found out, he cornered me in the alley behind the diner. "You didn't have to do that," he said, his voice soft. "I wanted to," I replied, "but not to impress anyone. I just wanted to give back." In the end, Ryan forgave me, and we grew closer than ever. My experience taught me so much about the value of hard work, humility, and genuine relationships. While I eventually returned to my old life, I carried those lessons with me. Ryan even got his chance to pursue music, thanks to a grant I helped set up anonymously, of course. Now, when people see me, they don't just see the rich girl. They see someone who understands what it means to live and love authentically. And that's worth more than all the money in the world. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps me tell my craziest stories.